So Tamer got a lot of changes in the rework. In this video, I just want to talk about what's actually there in Global Labs after the December 17th patch in terms of the Awakened kit, basically exclusively. So in case you're looking for info on Succession specifically, I will not discuss any Prime skills, and I will not discuss any of the mounted Heilang skills at all. Nothing against them. I'm just not one to comment. I don't, probably never will play Succession. That said, some of the changes to pre-awakening you probably will find relevant. So also, just keep in mind that if you think I missed something important or got something totally wrong, please do call that out in the comments. I definitely want to know, and I'm sure anyone watching this video is going to want to know too.
So with that said, let's get into it. First up, new skill, Legendary Beast Dance Echo. So this is a flow off of Legendary Beast Dance. It does some pretty good damage, 5-second cooldown, which is nice. Shift Q is the input. And basically what you're going to do is every time you use Legendary Beast Dance, you get a buff on your bar. And for each of the 4 dances, it's going to give Shift Q a different effect. Most of them are CC, but this one right here, Azure Dragon's the only one that is a debuff, attack speed, and also gives you the plus 10-8 buff. So, kind of weird thing with Vermilion Bird, it applies the burn at that longer range, but you have to get closer to apply the float. And there's probably a way to game it so that you get that air attack into a combo, and maybe that does damage. For PvE, I really like the turtle one because it just has that massive, perfectly circular AoE and jumps you forward a bit. It seems to work really well at orcs when you get a weapon. So if you want to get the state without telegraphing, if you have some PvP use for it, you don't want to show people what you're about to do, you can just cancel it. Legendary Beast Power, and you get the state on the bar. So one way to use this skill is as a replacement for Excel. We were worried Excel was gone from the kit. I think it's kind of been replaced in a PvE context specifically with this flow skill if you use the Azure Dragon version, because it's the same animation as Flow Full Moon used to be. So you'll see here they replace Flow Full Moon with this little Goomba stomp that you do, but you can still use the Azure Dragon version of Beast Echo if you hit that Shift Q input on the same frame that you used to cancel with Legendary Beast Power into Flow Full Moon. So the new Flow Full Moon animation, they changed it so that you can actually go straight into Beast Rampage right after Flow Full Moon. And because you're holding down left mouse button, it's going to do the same thing that Celestial Slam does. It's going to give you the plus 15% all accuracy buff. You can also use Flow Full Moon after Legendary Beast Dance now. So you can either use that unprotected and try for a quick catch, then you just hold down left mouse button and go into Beast Rampage with the 4 guard core. So pretty hard to punish that, or you can grab the core for Legendary Beast Dance and have a way to re-up that 15% accuracy buff every 3 seconds and also throw an SA catch attempt every 3 seconds. Another new aspect of the kit is down smash. So they added a new down smash to Flow Full Moon. They added a new down smash to the new skill Legendary Beast Dance Echo. If you use the turtle version, it down smashes. They also added a knockdown to Legendary Beast Dance Echo. The tiger version is a knockdown. So that brings total knockdowns up to 2. One of them is the Rabam Legendary Beast Claw. And then total down smashes up to 5, because they changed the last hit of Beast Rampage to a down smash from float. The way that they changed the damage on Beast Rampage, it's overall a buff because they added 3 hits to the last hit and they increased the damage per hit. But the problem is they increased the PvP damage percentage decrease to 26.8%. So the first couple hits, that damage per hit increase does not actually even come close to accounting for the PvP damage reduction. So all that damage is loaded into the last hit. And thanks to Uishi in the Tamer Discord for pointing that out. So this ninja is 436 DP. Just delete it. It is an endgame AP build for sure, but it just feels like you're running people down with this. This is a ranger that I was fighting on Global Labs. One of the best aspects of this new way to get the 15% accuracy buff and therefore get Beast Rampage to do insane amounts of damage is you don't have to think too much about yeeting in there and just attacking people with it. Like, I just throw dog skills all over the place. No idea what I'm doing. I don't know any of this class's skills, but I'm just tossing voids at him and trying to get in there and just hope that I bound him with Beast Rampage. This is the same thing on a Dark Knight, and I definitely way out geared this person. Right after this sequence, we figured out that I was wearing like all of the things that you could possibly get on Global Labs, and they were doing the responsible thing and just doing whatever they had on live. So I took a bunch of stuff off, but I think this makes the point where, I'm just throwing random dog stuff at them and then just trying to yeet in there with Moonlight, Full Moon, Beast, Rampage. And it's really all you need. It's very powerful, and they also added another way to get the 15% accuracy buff for a second right after you do Cloud Ride, and they added a linger to Cloud Ride. So I'll show you that in a minute here, but yeah, you can see that my whole game plan there was just throw some dog stuff, don't get hit by stuff, and Moonlight, Beast, Rampage. Speaking of dog stuff, we have this new feature of our pet where he does all of his attacks at range. So you'll see here that if you put him in a command attack mode, if you use command attack on something or just throw it out randomly onto the floor, it will put him into an aggressive stance where he's actually going to teleport to your most recent target. Seems to be the most recent thing that you have done damage to, or whatever is in your crosshairs at the time. So you see right there, he actually picked the thing you hit with roaring that was closer, not the thing in your crosshairs. So there's definitely some weirdness to figure out with this. I don't know what's bugged, what's not working correctly, what is. When you fight someone with this, when he starts his roaring trap and when he starts his surging tide roaring trap, if somebody hits him, same for Void Lightning, with a CC or maybe just with damage, he'll just fall over and won't start it. Sometimes he gets stuck in the howling animation if you use it, and he won't do those follow-up flows from those other skills, and sometimes he doesn't. There seems to be a slight cooldown on the roaring trap and a separate cooldown on the ball attack, the smoke bomb kind of thing that he does after surging tide every once in a while. So I don't know what is going on with this, because it's behaved differently for me on Global Labs every single patch. It's been getting better lately, so trusting that it's going to stay somewhat stable. You can see here on the dummies and from the few PvP clips I have before and I'm going to have after that, yeah, he does throw himself at your target and the target that you put into crosshairs. So the better you are with your mouse accuracy, it seems like the more of a buff this is to you as a tamer. Okay, so some smaller details. You have time for exactly one skill buffed with the 15% accuracy buff after Flow Cloud Ride. They added a linger, an SA linger on landing from Cloud Ride, and decreased the cooldown to 9 seconds. And you'll notice in this clip, side by side with live, there is a slight increase in the height at which you can Cloud Ride and not get the falling animation upon landing. You can still scratch stiff, and you can still knock back with Surging Tide. Flow Hidden Claw doesn't work anymore unless you just do the forward version. You can't do it side to side laterally. Also, don't get a linger on landing out of Tree Climb anymore. Now, in exchange for that, there's no collision, and if you just tap F after you WW, then you can go right into Tree Climb and there's no gap whatsoever. I tested it. It has the same number of protected frames if you then WW out of the Tree Climb landing, and there might be a decent gap in there, but it is so tiny. Another thing to consider is that Air Lightning is SA now. So you have Scratch, which still stiffens. You've got Air Lightning, which throws a range void or tosses the void right down at your feet immediately, and you can cancel it with Legendary Beast Power. And you have Tree Climb, and every one of them can be smoothly linked to WW to close that gap. Soaring Strike can be used from Hotbar now. It's on a 10-second cooldown, not 18 seconds, which was crazy. So this is instant access to your T3 add-ons. Gives you the option to have both sets of T3 add-ons up from Fearful Trembling and Soaring Strike on a regular basis. So let's talk about Throat Burn, guys. They changed Throat Burn. It is a much better skill, but they also remove the animation. The animation was great because it let you do soaring arts. And I think the biggest part about it, because you can still do soaring arts, it's just you can't do it reliably. You have to use this thing called bolt jump. I've done some work to figure out how bolt jump works. I can do it, but you definitely can't use it and expect it to work. It has this feature where it drains arbitrary amounts of your stamina sometimes, and it just is too precise. You need to focus on it too much to reasonably be able to use soaring arts well in a combat situation. I know most people don't care about this little aspect, but enough people care about it that some of these pioneers of this very cool feature of the class put out YouTube videos, and they get tons of views. People think it's awesome, and for some reason, Perlibis just decided they were going to overwrite this. And if they had a reason, fine, but communication's been so bad, and there's no excuse for it. There just is no reason that you should be doing all these things, which look pretty good, honestly, to the class. And just about everybody who plays the class thinks that their class is dead. They're re-rolling off the class. They're saying you didn't do anything for the class. How did you let that happen? That's the craziest thing in the world. You overwrote skills that are, just from the animation alone, responsible for like tens, hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube. I can't fathom a reason to just like let that happen. So I'm hoping they come out with either just a reversion to it, like maybe they just didn't know what the hell they were doing, because it is a niche thing, or they just tell us what they were thinking, right? Because it's a bit of a bug. I mean, I get it in a sense, but I hope they have a reason, because it seems weird to fix that of all things. There's a lot of bugs in this game. There really is no reason to prioritize benign ones, let alone ones that are generating, in some way, probably revenue for your company. So, very weird thing that they did here. Just very offensive to me that you would, for no reason, take this cool ass thing that people have been doing on YouTube, that they've invested all this time in, and people enjoy, and just take it away with no explanation for no reason whatsoever.